What's up, everybody? Hey, we got a lot going on today. We're talking about Flus. We got to talk about that Stevenson and that DJ Moore deal. Oh, man, that is some stuff that I think Lance and I are going to disagree on. Come on and join us, man. It's going to be a hot show. Welcome to the Briggs and Brown Show. We really appreciate y'all joining us today. My man, Boogie, let's jump right into it, man. I mean, the whole conversation about this is Flus going or is he staying? And like, people have their opinions on it. I heard I'm going to give you this one now, and I want to know what you think about it. I heard a real good take by somebody the other day. They said, when we drafted Mitch Trubisky, we had a coach for a year and then got a new coach. That was 2 years. So in 2 years, Mitch had two coaches. Same thing, repeated the same thing with Justin Fields. Had a coach for a year. After that first year, repeated it. Now it looks like we're sitting in that same situation, but our good buddy, Adam Wright, say he might have some people that's saying something different. What are your thoughts? Should we stay with Flus? Should we move on from Flus? What are you thinking?
Well, you named a situation, but or you named a situation, but you didn't iron out the details on that. You know, so yeah, you're going on three quarterbacks that are going on two coaches. Okay, we're teetering on that. But the first two, you know, it was a messed up situation. You know, it was a messed up situation. Now, you know, listen, the Mitchell Trubisky situation, you know, in my opinion, probably a lot of people's opinion, he probably shouldn't have been drafted that early anyway. However, you know, it still wasn't a great situation that he was brought into. He actually brought in his first year, you know, they were able to get into the playoffs. We haven't been in the playoffs in a long time. Great, awesome. Absolutely, haven't been sent. So kudos to them and that, especially that defense that they had. But things quickly fell apart because it wasn't really built on anything. You know, so then you have Justin Fields that comes in and same thing. You know, you bring him in, he gets put in before he should have been put in. He put in against the Cleveland Browns. You know, and you talk about, you wonder why he has a coaching change. You know, and so there's a lot that goes on with these guys, with these quarterbacks that are coming in, and I love that I'm hearing so many people now around the football world, you know, like Tom Brady's and the guys that have been there before, saying, "Listen, why are we putting these first round quarterbacks into the fire, making these guys throw the ball over and over and over again just so we can please, you know, the NFL to try to score more points?" We're doing more damage to these quarterbacks than we are helping them and trying to develop them into something that can be sustainable. So, yes, we have issues with coaching because there's such a pressure, I believe, on getting these first-round pick quarterbacks to get out there and just perform for us, dance for us.
Well, I mean, when you take a guy first overall or in that top 10 area, when it's a linebacker, you expect him to play immediately. When it's a defensive end, you expect him to play immediately. When you choose a left tackle, he is expected to step right in and play immediutely. Being that the quarterback is the most important position on the football field, why wouldn't we expect the same from them? And then if you have them sit and wait, you're going to be in a position like the Green Bay Packers were, where they had Love sit and wait. And then all of a sudden he plays 1 year. Now you have to pay him $250 million. And you ain't seen enough.
Well, one of the problems is that you're constantly trying to find the CJ Stroud. You're trying to find these specific players, and it's
last year's CJ.
Last year's CJ.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's what you and I love that you said that.
Yeah,
because last year's CJ is a rookie that had a hell of a year. He had a hell of a year. You know, you and I know there's no consistency built there. You know that 1 year, anybody can have a fluke year. Anybody in the league can have a fluke year. You have to be consistent. That's the reason why we say, okay, man, it was nice. Like that was nice, but when people look for that next quarterback and they're like, man, we need CJ Stroud, but you haven't even seen him in year 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, right. You know, and so Patrick Mahomes, he didn't start coming out of college. Even for the period of time that he wasn't behind, he was actually able to learn, you know, from Alex Smith. You know, I mean, who's a very seasoned, well-trained quarterback, very good quarterback. And so you look at, and then you look in the past, you look at Troy Aikman, Steve Young. A lot of these quarterbacks were able to learn from somebody. A lot of those great quarterbacks were able to play behind somebody until they were thrown into the fire. There are more great quarterbacks that played behind somebody than guys that just stepped in and from the very get and was successful.
See, I disagree with that. I really do. I don't think so. I think we gotta look at the numbers on that, because Joe Namath came in and he was awful his first year. Peyton Manning wasn't very good his first year. They went 3-13. He threw a bunch of interceptions.
Joe Montana, Steve Young.
Well, Steve Young.
Troy Aikman. The greatest, the GOAT, Tom Brady. The greatest, the GOAT, Tom Brady.
Yes, Tom Brady. Joe Montana played. Steve Young was at you forget Steve Young was at Tampa Bay. Joe Montana
did not get the first snap. Did not play the first snap
of his rookie year.
Of his rookie year, he did not play his first snap.
Well, I don't know that. I wasn't alive. So Steve Young did not.
You were. You're older than me.
I am, but Joe Montana came into the league and.
Do you know Steve Young sat behind?
What are you talking about? We're even talking about Joe Montana.
Behind Joe Montana. Well, Steve Young sat behind Joe Montana.
You need to stop, because you are a West Coast guy. I remember Steve Young at Tampa Bay. Okay, that's not sitting behind Joe Montana. He played at Tampa Bay.
He got traded. Well, he got traded. He got traded.
Yes,
he got traded.
He was already
he got traded.
But
he got traded. He got traded immediately, though.
No, he didn't.
He got traded quickly. He got traded quickly.
He got traded 2-3 years into his career. And he played arena ball, or not arena ball, but where Doug USFL. He played there too.
All right, that's fair.
So he was a professional. We're talking about rookies coming in, being successful, and I think you either have to have something around them, like what they did with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson played as a rookie.
We're talking about successful guys, but that's more of a modern era thing, though. It's much more of a modern era thing, throwing quarterbacks in there. That's why there's so few and far that succeed. You know what I mean? So there's guys that you point out. There's guys that you point out. You know, because they're like, man, we're looking for this type of quarterback, because this type of guy can come right in. He's got the skills that he can come right in. You throw him in, and he can play right now, as opposed to, okay, man, we have this guy. He's got a lot of certain skills, but we need the Lamar Jackson. There's also been a change.
When does your modern era end? When is that? When is old school and modern era? When does that change over?
Probably before the deal, before the negotiated deal. Huh? Probably before concussion.
92, 93.
Well, no. It's later than that. I mean, the tail end of that. You know what I mean? So I would say it's a good question.
Yes, it is. I mean, I just want to know, so I'll know what quarterbacks I'm thinking about, what quarterbacks I'm trying to build an argument on, because you're all over the place right now. I want to know where you're at.
Well, what's the modern era? What's the modern era? I thought the modern era starts probably right closer to the concussion stuff. as concussions became more of a deal. So the modern era is more like as we're pushing into that. Once you have to start taking the concussion test, and it's not, it's not a test that we all know the answer to and that type of stuff. They see a hit, you have to come off the field. So
yeah. Well, I'll say this. I think this right here definitely correlates with the quarterback in the modern era and what you're talking about. Because back then, running backs used to be taken first. Like quarterbacks wasn't valued like they're valued now. Other positions were. When you see a Barry Sanders going that high, or Bo Jackson being the number one pick, or like quarterbacks are the number one picks now. Very, very few times do you have a non-quarterback as a top pick.
Julius Peppers.
He was number 2.
Oh.
David Carr was number 1.
You're right.
So you know what I mean? So like this era of football, back old school pre-2000, I think quarterbacks were valued a little different back then. And now for some reason, it is viewed as the toughest position in sports, whereas I don't think it was back then. You look at running backs. Running backs have changed. Like people think they can just go get a running back from anywhere, any part in the draft. Like the running back position have been diluted, and it's just not a
running back. Yeah, but running backs are also have a little. They share a little bit of that responsibility. Share a little bit of that responsibility now these days.
Yes,
right. Because there's too much running back by committee, and there's too many running backs that choose to run out of bounds rather than to fight for extra yards.
Well, if they fight for extra yards, every time you fight for an extra yard, you might lose another year, another couple months on that next contract. Because as a running back, you ain't getting but one bite at the apple unless you that dude. Like
right. So I agree. Hey, but listen, when you choose to run out of bounds, then to stick your nose in it part, you are going to lose a few zeros. All right, you're going to lose a few numbers on it, a few digits. Something's going to give. Something's got to give.
Well, it won't be my brain because I'm stepping out of bounds. I ain't ready to be hit like that.
There you go. Listen, some of us got listen. Some of us have brains that are just built more, condensed. And some of us are just. I had this deal. I was looking it up.
This is not scientific, okay?
I posted this deal on Ronnie Lott. And he was talking about hitting and how you become a hitter and what it's. He's like, there's something that's in you that is willing to turn this thing up to go the extra distance every time, And as he's speaking on it, like I'm like, man, I can relate to this. I have to post this because he's expressing what I'm thinking when it comes to
for sure.
hitting.
For sure. Heck yeah.
I wouldn't have lasted long as a running back.
No. You wouldn't have. No. Because you want to get that extra yard, and you're crazy. See, I'm gonna step out of bounds as a quarterback. You can't hit me like that. I'm stepping out of bounds. So
I mean, LaDainian Tomlinson, he was always fighting for that extra yard, and he played a good amount of years.
He did. No, he did. But see, you don't find. But LaDainian Tomlinson was drafted top 5.
Yeah.
I don't believe. I think you find LaDainian Tomlinson, you find Edgerrin James, you find Ricky Williams, you find those type of backs in that first round.
Well, the
Bears just traded. The guy the Bears
just traded. LaDainian Tomlinson type of running back in the 3rd round, 168th pick overall.
No, you ain't gonna find.
Yes, you could have got. Yes, you could have. I could have been LaDainian Tomlinson type of talent at 168 as a running back at 168 in the 3rd round. Okay, just.
Whoa. Okay. Maybe I just heard you right. Hold on, because I got a brief headache. Did you just put your running back skills in the same breath as LaDainian Tomlinson?
I said you could have got that type of value in the 3rd round.
Wow. No. You know, I'm trying to think of a 3rd round pick running back. You know, Terrell Davis. You think you could have been Terrell Davis?
TD?
Yeah.
2,000 yards rushing. In that system, this is a system guy. You know what I mean? He's a system guy. He didn't even play that
you could have done it in that system. You could have done it.
Well, that was a wild statement. We got to take a break here in a minute. Wow. To your point, though, Lance, Priest Holmes was undrafted and was a great running back. So maybe Lance is on to something here. We can get more into this.
That's one running back. That's one.
You know.
No,
okay, so we can get
as a quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
Cam Newton, baby. Yeah.
We can get into more of that. We got Professor Briggs's grades coming up, the much anticipated grades. We were a little behind on that because of course our trip to Arizona, which was a lot of fun. But first, want to give a quick shout out to our guys over at Miller Lite. We appreciate Miller Lite. A lot's changed over the years. One thing that hasn't, the great taste of Miller Lite. Another thing that hasn't changed is that it's less filling. So what is the best thing about original light beer? Well, Miller Lite sparked this debate in 1975, and we still haven't settled it. It's all about great taste or less filling. Miller Lite keeps it simple, undebatable quality, great taste, and only 96 calories. Miller Lite is the official beer of the Chicago Bears. You don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your doorstep, visit MillerLite.com/CHGO football, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer. So make sure you go get yourself some Miller Lite. Okay, so if you guys are welcome to finish your Lance Briggs should have been a Hall of Fame running back discussion.
No, we're good. We're good.
We can get into Professor Briggs's grades. However you want to take it, it's your show.
I'll say this. I'll finish it off with Khalil Herbert is a better running back, and the Bears just traded him for a 7th-round pick than Lance would have been in the NFL. Talking about a 3rd-round pick. You'd have been a free agent running back. You stop it. Don't do this. Don't disrespect all the running backs. Don't disrespect all the running backs.
That is not a disrespect to running backs. It was a good running back. I was a running back in college. Okay? I chose to play linebacker.
Maybe Alex forgets the move. If we got to bring this up every week until you acknowledge the move that L Boogie put on the Dallas Cowboys to the end zone.
I remember it.
So I didn't see.
I'm not saying he's not athletic.
Listen, there's a lot of film. There's a lot of film, Braggs, on touchdowns that I had after an interception. There's plenty of film on it. Okay, and listen, there's a lot of running back skills in there. Okay, breaking tackles. The complete
running backs. Any form of running backs.
The whooping for my blocks. I had a stiff arm against the Colts. I stiff armed them into the instant. Never been. You know what? It's fine. Let's move on. Let's get into these grades. Okay.
Let's go.
Listen. For everybody watching this year, I'm trying to get away. The professor is trying to get away from all of the F minus plus this year. But if it does so happen. It happens, all right? Offense. If it happens, it happens. Offense is getting in F, all right? I don't think thank you, Cairo Santos, okay? Thank you, Cairo Santos, because our offense has been ineffective. They haven't been able to produce touchdowns the way that we want them to since probably the Carolina Panthers. Let's move on to defense. And one of the issues, too, with us, especially at the end of games, is our inability for our defense to keep those points down. When our defense keeps the game close, we actually have a chance at the end of games, and they weren't able to do that. They couldn't stop the run. It was ugly and unfortunate. It was unfortunate. We have to do better. Defense gets an F, a mighty F. But there are some bright spots, okay? Because Cairo Santos was 3 for 3. And, of course, our 4th round gem, Torrey Taylor, all right, 4 punts. I think he had a 56 arc average with one inside the 10. We're giving special teams a B-. Woo!
You know who else? You know who else averaged every other punter in the league averaged 46 yards on punts. It's nothing special.
Listen, it's important for us because we punt a lot. Because it's important us because we were not supposed to be punting much, and we punt a lot. Okay?
You take every chance to take a shot at 18. Stop it.
We're not supposed to be punting. That's what we did.
Taking shots at 18. Stop it.
I was excited when I heard that. I was like, man, we will not be punting this year. All right. Anyways, moving on. Coaching. Listen, coaching. As if we didn't already know it was bad. Okay. So coaching unsurprisingly gets an F. And I'm sure every Chicago fan would agree with me there. F-. F-, guys. It doesn't get much worse than that. And we have to figure some stuff out. We got to get it figured out, and we got to get it figured out fast because Arizona was one of those teams where we went into that saying we need to win this game. We're coming off a week prior where we said we need to win this game. Okay? The Bears have the toughest remaining schedule in the NFL. We all know that. So as we limp into that schedule, we were supposed to be in good standing to give ourselves a better shot at the playoffs.
Yeah, starting this is the past 2 weeks. I think we were coming into that. We were 4-2, and now we've dropped 2 very winnable games. I thought I actually think we got our butts whooped at Arizona. I don't think we just didn't show up for whatever reason. You can't tell me it was a hangover from the Washington game. I don't buy that. You got to be ready to play. You only have 17 games in the season. This is not baseball where you get 162. It ain't basketball where you get 82. Okay, you got to come ready to go every week. And you're right. They should have been sitting in a position where they're 6-2 and beginning the meat part of their schedule with the division coming up because everybody in the division is good. Detroit looks like they're on a different planet. Yes. They lose their best defensive player, and they just
got Zadarius.
And they just got Zadarius. That man, they look very strong. Minnesota, I think, is better than what everybody thought they were going to be.
Yep.
But they're there, so they're a good football team. And now you got Green Bay, and Green Bay is a good football team, like always. Like they're just their worst years. They
got a ferocious pass rush.
They can come. They can get after you. So, and our offensive line is going to be put on. They're going to be put on Front Street every one of those games. Caleb's going to be put on Front Street during that Minnesota game because they got one of the secondaries that take the ball away the most in the NFL. So you have to be ready to go.
Green Bay, Rashawn Gary he's got new teeth now. So you know what I mean. Like his pass rush is going to be pretty.
Well, let me ask you this, guys, because you got a little bit into it early on, but obviously Adam Rank reported this morning or yesterday on his show, and it's starting to make the rounds on social media today that he talked. Obviously Adam Rank works for NFL Network, so he's connected and has access to have conversations with a lot of different people around the league. And they told him that no matter what happens this season, those people believe that Matt Eberflus's job is safe into next year. And the Bears are on a slide right now. And that's what I want to ask you guys is, A, do you buy that? And B, like, what is there any threshold here over the next few games? Losing to the Patriots or losing to the Packers? Was there anything for you that could swing that pendulum where Flus could be shown the door in the middle of a season, which the Bears are really not known to do? But at the same time, when you guys talk about what happened in Arizona and how the team looked like they quit, maybe they didn't, but it certainly looked like that. If that continues, I just would love to hear your perspective on how much you feel Eberflus's job is safe.
I don't think it's safe. I don't buy that. I think that's BS. And when you say no matter what happens, like he's coming back, I don't buy that. Because if Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers decide they're going to go separate ways, you're going to be in on that bidding. If LaFleur decides that Green Bay is not the place for me, you're going to be in on that bidding. Like, it's just like you say stuff and you put stuff out there, and that's crazy. If we lose every game from this point out, you cannot tell me that we're going to end the season 4-13 and you're still going to stick with Flus. So don't sit up here and say like, or give that notion that, Flus coming back. No, he got to do something. He got to show progress. If he's not showing progress, if this team continues to do the things that they're doing to show the disrespect to the coach, the non-respect that they have, and we'll get into that later, but they continue to do this stuff, you have to think about, well, are we headed in the right direction as an organization with this current coaching staff?
Well, let's look at some of the evidence. Okay, Okay, let's look at, let's say, a player like Velus Jones. Okay, he's a Poles guy, right? He's probably been on the roster probably longer than a lot of people think he should have been. You take a player like that and you say, okay, Eberflus, Poles guy. All right. There are guys that are on our roster that are here longer probably than some of the Chicago Bears would probably have liked. They thought they should have been gone a long time ago. But it's a Poles guy, and Poles is holding on to it. He's doubling down on there's something in this guy that can be great. He can be something as a Bear. And when you go through the situation with the quarterbacks and the double coaches, this is probably Poles' opportunity to have to double down here, because if this doesn't pan out, there's a chance that he may be gone. So I don't, there's a lot to unpack. I don't think it's an easy situation or an easy solution that Poles can just fire him and then get another coach. I think there's more to it that maybe Eberflus needs to succeed. That's maybe that reflection of Poles is very necessary.
Absolutely not. No way. If Ben Johnson becomes available, Ben Johnson is going to be the Bears head coach next year. Like, it's gonna happen.
And then you're gonna repeat the same stuff that you repeated for the last couple of coaches. You're gonna repeat the same stuff. It's gonna be the same stuff with the same young coach, because what you did was you passed on Dan Quinn. You passed on the coach that you should have gotten in. That's the problem.
You can't go back, but you can't go back and get him now. So you want to get somebody. You need to get somebody that can help. Everything should be.
Ben Johnson ain't proven. Ben Johnson's not proven.
What do you mean he's not proven?
He's not proven. He's as proven as Eberflus. He's as proven as Matt Nagy.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
He took a quarterback.
He's as proven as all those guys.
He took a quarterback in golf, and he has made golf into one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league currently. Top
Golf
3
played in the Super Bowl. Golf played in the Super Bowl.
You don't. No. If the Rams thought he was that damn good, they wouldn't have got rid of him.
Doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
He came here, and he was not a very good quarterback when he got to Detroit.
Listen, I like Ben Johnson.
Hold on.
He's as proven as these other coaches. These other young coaches that you're bringing in. He's as proven as these other young coaches.
Eberflus ain't been to the playoffs.
Matt Nagy's won a Super Bowl. Don't matter. These guys, all these young guys, doesn't matter. Nobody's better than Patrick Mahomes. Matt Nagy coached Patrick Mahomes.
You're talking
He's
about
better than Goff. He's the greatest player in the game right now.
I'll wait.
Go ahead. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna do it.
So Ben Johnson has been to the playoffs. He has taken this offense to a different level. The one offense you're scared of in the NFL to play is the Detroit Lions. You're not scared of, even though they have Patrick Mahomes, you're not scared of Kansas City right now. You're not scared of that offense. He has created an offense over there where they can run the football. They can be balanced at both. That is exactly what you need. They can play any level that you want to play. You want to get in a shootout? They can get in a shootout with you. they'll score 50 points. He is as efficient. He has made Goff extremely efficient at the quarterback position. He has helped him. I'm not saying Goff had zero talent. He had talent, but he didn't have enough talent for the Rams, who he took to the Super Bowl, to keep him. So they saw something that they didn't want nothing to do with. And now he goes to a place and he changes everything about Detroit football. And he's done it with Ben Johnson.
It's crazy that you are comparing coaching for the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions. And
no, not.
How good? No, he's doing a very good job. He's doing a very good job. But if I had to take one of the two, I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs because they know how to get to the Super Bowl and win it. They do it back to back. They do it back to back. Now, as good as a job as Ben Johnson has done, they have not won a Super Bowl. They haven't.
No,
they haven't. They have not. So until they do, all right, there's still a ceiling on that coaching. There's still a ceiling on that coaching. So what you're getting right now, you're getting another Eberflus, you're getting another Matt Nagy until you can prove different. It is a prove me league. Show me something. And the guy that has shown it is Dan Quinn. All right. And I know we all agree. I know we keep bringing up. I know we keep bringing up that name, but because we passed that name up. We passed that name up.
Dan Quinn
has proven himself he's proven himself.
And everybody, level. He has. And he took the Atlanta Falcons to the Super Bowl and proved that he couldn't close with Shanahan. He couldn't close that Super Bowl being up 23 to 3 or whatever that score was. He could not close that. I love Dan Quinn. I love that he's a defensive coach. You keep bringing up Dan Quinn. He is with the Commanders. He's not leaving. On coaches that we can get, Ben Johnson is one of them because he is an offensive coordinator, and offensive and defensive coordinators, the drive is to have your own team and to be able to do it. That is Dan Campbell's team. That's not his team.
Yeah,
when they win or lose, you don't get credit for that.
No doubt. But you know what? Don't just don't just start passing flowers out. Do your due diligence. There's big coaches out there. All right. Don't go after just the hot name. That's my thing. You know what I mean? Again, I like Ben Johnson, but don't just go after the hot name because just because you're trending doesn't equal to success.
No, I understand that. You're absolutely right. But I think they are having success, and I think it has a lot to do with him as opposed to, you brought up Matt Nagy. They won without Matt Nagy. So it has a lot to do with Patrick Mahomes over there. And I think this right here, the marriage over in Detroit with Ben Johnson and Goff, I think it has a lot to do with both of them. I don't think you separate them. I don't think they're as good. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, whether Matt Nagy's there or not. Matt Nagy came to Chicago, they were fine.
You take Ben Johnson out of Detroit, and they're still going to thrive, especially with Goff there.
Yeah, you thought. I'm sure you thought that when Ron Rivera left and your boy took over, and we were terrible. Bob Babbage. Yeah, we were awful.
I was still all pro that year.
You were, and we lost. And we lost how many games?
We hear that ain't easy.
I know he
did.
Y'all was worried about it himself.
Right, that was a simple.
But you said, because he said we sucked. So I wanted to say, listen.
We were terrible.
Within the we sucked. I was still pretty doggone good.
we were the number one, the top ranked defense the year before, or top five, I'll say. We were top five the year before. The next year, with the All-Pro Lance Briggs, with the Pro Bowl Brian Urlacher, with Peanut Tillman, with Nathan Basher, with all these players, we were 26. Right. We were 26. Right.
Well,
but Urlacher was still the number one little linebacker, and I was still the number one weak session.
Well, I think what it comes down to at the end of the day is I think it is obvious that Ben Johnson is a really, really good offensive coordinator and a play caller, and he's putting his team in a position and his players individually to be set up for success. And if you follow the type of concepts he does, if you really get into the weeds of that stuff, he is very innovative at a level of a guy like Kyle Shanahan, And, when the Bears had John Fox, they kept him a year too long, and Kyle Shanahan went from Atlanta to San Francisco, and now everyone wants themselves a Kyle Shanahan. I understand he hasn't won a Super Bowl yet, but he's certainly one of the better play callers in the league. And so, like I said, I think it comes down to when you talk about a guy like Ben Johnson, is he a leader of men? If anybody got a chance to watch our post-game show after the game on Sunday, and I understand those that wanted to stay as far away from Bears conversation as they could after that game, but I would encourage anyone that watches this show to watch the Briggs and Brown post-game show from Sunday, because we really didn't talk about the game. What we talked about were coaches and players and individual stuff, and these guys gave some really great insights into the Mark Trestman era and things like that. And, what you guys said then was Mark Trestman, good play caller, had the offense humming that one year, but ultimately wasn't a leader of men. And that at the end of the day was the beginning of the end of that attempt as Mark Trestman as a head coach. Matt Nagy, same thing. Guy obviously knows what he's doing in Kansas City. You got Patrick Mahomes next to you, but you still got to give credit where it's due. But then you saw how he handled players like Javon Wims and Anthony Miller and guys that didn't want to respect what he was trying to do or gain the respect of his locker room. And so Matt Nagy had trouble leading a locker room, even as smart of a offensive coach as he is. So that's the question, right? With Ben Johnson,
Right.
Can he be a leader of men?
Bragg, there's a clip out where one of the Pouncey twins comes off, the one that plays center for Pittsburgh, comes off the field, and Mike Tomlin grabs him or stops him, and he starts talking to him. We need to find that, because that is a great, I think, moment of 30 seconds of what Lance is talking about when he says leader of men. Because in that situation, he comes off and Pouncey is pissed off. He's mad. But he ain't mad enough to not listen to a guy that he respects in Mike Tomlin. Right? He ain't that mad. You know how you get real mad, and then when your daddy come up or somebody that okay.
You breathe.
Yeah. So you kind of stop. And then so you that 30-second clip, and he's asking Pouncey, this is bigger than you, right? You're being selfish right now. This is bigger than you. Do you agree with me? Yes. No. Look at me when I'm talking to you like that. This is the conversation he's having on the sideline. I have not seen these conversations in a long time on a Bears sideline. I have not seen them.
Yeah.
With this,
they don't have
with this particular coaching staff, when we're talking about things that do not help the team, that can be viewed as selfish, I view them as me type of actions.
Yeah.
That I don't think you win with that. That stuff has to go, or if that player can't change that, he has to go. It can't be in the locker room. It can't be a part of the team, because that is why it is called a team. You can have the best of both. You can have I forget what year it was, but the San Diego Chargers at the time had the number one offense and the number one defense and missed the playoffs. How? Yeah. You know what I mean? It is so hard to play in this league.
Field. Yeah.
Man, it's so hard to play in this league and to be successful, to have those type of people that aren't on board, or to seem like they're not on board for whatever reason. You got to get them up out of there.
And that's why it takes leadership in the locker room too. It's not just on the coaches to lead. The players got to have their leaders in there. And I do think the Bears have some players that are becoming good locker room leaders or worthy candidates in Cole Kmet, TJ Edwards, Jalen Johnson. Those are some of the names that come to my mind first.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
I could just, from the way they carry themselves on the practice field, the way they go about their business on the field, off of it. I will say this though. Go ahead.
Briggs, I've always viewed my leadership, especially when I was in college, as I wouldn't say completely failed, but I don't feel like I succeeded as a captain because we were 500 at best. You know, if I couldn't help lead the guys that were in my defensive room to play better, or even as a captain of the team to motivate our team, you know, to play well enough to be over 500 to get to a bowl game, then there's something that's going on with I've always felt with my leadership. Now, whether that is true or not, that's how I feel as a leader. You know, so that's why I asked the question. No,
and it's a fair question, because at 4-2, I was like ringing the bell hard. I'm like, Cole Kmet is the leader of this team. You know, Kevin Byard, great addition to this locker room. You know, TJ Edwards and Jalen Johnson leading by example. But now that they're 4-4 and all this stuff has come out here in the last weeks, the one thing I will give you to your point, you know, as much as I think Kevin Byard is a veteran and a leader, when you're in a leadership committee, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but you go to a leadership committee the day after a loss with your head coach, and then 20 minutes later or an hour later, you're on the radio talking about specific things that were said in the leadership meeting. Like, to me, that's blatant disrespect to the head coach. Whether you like him or not, like, that's to me a breach of trust that is a bridge too far. As much as we all as fans or media like to hear some of that stuff for context and understanding of what's going on, they've got to be able to keep those things in-house as best they can. And while if you want to talk about general surface level, this is what we got to do to get better. But when you start talking about specific conversations you've had in a leadership meeting with your head coach, that to me is a breach of trust.
Braggs, the reason we're having these things happen is because we're trying to appoint leaders. We're trying to get people to become leaders. You can't do that. It's either in you, man. It's either in you or it's not. That's the leadership part. When you try to, it sounds like from what you're saying, we got a whole damn team full of leaders, and that's just not the case. You know what I mean? Like, you have a few leaders, a very few.
True.
Now,
yeah.
Because you're old doesn't make you a leader. Because you're
a quarterback. Because you're a quarterback doesn't make you a leader.
Say again?
Because you're a quarterback doesn't make you the leader.
Doesn't. Correct. It does not make you the leader. Nobody, the 85 team, nobody ever makes a mistake of saying Jim McMahon was the captain of that football team. Nobody ever makes a mistake of the NFC champion 2006 football team that Rex Grossman was the captain of that football team. Nobody ever makes that mistake. So don't sit up here and like tell me, not you. I'm not saying you, but I'm saying don't sit up and act like the quarterback has to be the leader. That is not true.
Yeah, and to your point, I certainly have as much as we all hope that Caleb Williams is that leader 10 years from now or 5 years from now. They made him a captain as a rookie, and that's unprecedented. And to your guys' point, like, he hadn't earned that yet. As much as he might have had a great summer and a step in the right direction of earning the locker room's trust.
Which guys with the captain on their chest earned it?
Right. Well,
I think the old ass dude, number 20 years in, he got a captain. The only thing he got a captain.
I'd have to look at the specifics. It's voted by the players.
Yeah,
I know Cole's a captain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get it wrong, so I could look that up. But it's voted, and I think there's five.
Man, they're all appointed, and this ain't voted by. Mm-hmm. This ain't voted. I mean, the coaches are deciding this. When you got different people going out every week, we had the same guys going out for the coin toss, the same guys going out for going up to talk to coach. I'm not going to talk to coach.
The 2024 captains are Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Mercedes Lewis, Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Jalen Johnson, and Kevin Byard.
1 year, Byers.
First
2
year.
years. 2 years. With who's been here? Which guy's been
here? DJ's been here 2 years now.
No. TJ and the middle linebacker. 2 years they've been here.
Yep.
Caleb Williams been here 1.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the only worthy ones are
been here 1. He don't even play.
Right.
He don't even play, and he's a captain. like this is the type of stuff that I'm talking about, and you're telling me that the team voted for that. The team don't even know him.
Right.
He don't play. The team don't even know him. They just know he's been in the league for 19
well,
years.
During the preseason, Tevin Jenkins was asked who's the leader on the offensive line, and he said without question Ryan Bates. And Ryan Bates had been there 2 months and was the backup guard.
There we go.
There's
the problem. There's the problem.
You got a lot of problems.
Come on, because Tevin Jenkins has been there for a number of years, and he didn't say
answer
himself.
Should be me.
Me.
His answer should be me.
Yeah. So I agree with you guys. I mean, Cole and Jalen have been here longer than anybody. They've earned that role, but at the same time, your record's 4-4, and they've had, they're just as responsible as the coaches or anybody else on this team to try to prevent those things from happening. Let's move on. Let's get into the New England. Well, you know what? Let's try to we got about 15 more minutes. I know you guys want, since we're sticking with the players right now, and we're talking, DJ Moore is one of those players that was voted as a captain. I know you guys want to talk about DJ Moore and Tyrique Stevenson. Let's spend a few minutes on what you guys want to discuss in regards to that, and then we'll finish the show with our Bears Patriots preview.
Do you want to talk about both at the same time, or do you want to talk about Stevenson first?
No, we're talking about both.
I know they're tied in. I know they're tied in for you.
They are tied in.
And they're tied in. And they're tied in for me too. But it's a little bit different. I think I
think it's a little bit different. I think it's a little bit different, but I think the actions show something totally different than I've ever seen.
There's an action that I saw with DJ Moore when he was leaving that field. Okay, but I rewatched it a number of times. I saw some of the interviews that are tied into it as well, and like you can visibly see that something did happen to him as he walked off the field. Something did happen to him. Now, with that being said, the way it shows is when he leaves that field, when he walks off that field, and Caleb is over here fighting, trying to find a receiver. Regardless if he stepped out or not, his mannerisms say F you. His mannerisms do say that. Mm-hmm. So, regardless if and then you put yourself in that situation. If I put myself in that situation, if my ankle is rolled or not, I'm still going to fight for you. I'm going to fight for you because you're fighting. I'm not giving up on this play. I'm going to do everything that I can. And if I catch the ball and they say you stepped out of bounds, so be it. But I'm going to give him a target to throw to. I'm going to give him something that he can maybe throw to so that he can escape this pocket because he's surrounded by the wrong color.
Yeah, I mean,
that's my thought on that.
If you can't block, and I get it, you can't be the first one to touch the ball, but you can block. The play is still going on. That's the part that bothers me. The play is still happening for another 4 seconds, and he is out of bounds.
He's out of bounds. He walked out.
He walked off the field. That's some different stuff. I've never seen a player do that. Plenty of players get hurt. Plenty of players roll their ankle. Plenty. Yeah, he's rolled his ankle.
More players now. I'm telling you, man. More players nowadays. They don't play in a week. They get injured and they're hanging out on the sideline doing this right here. Joking around with players listen. There were a lot of things. There were a lot of things that happened to me as a young man. I got in trouble here. I got in trouble there. Got yelled at. I got punished. I got punished here, punished there. The second that the game of football was going to be taken away from me for a week, for a day, for an hour, whatever it was, well, I'm telling you, my eyes watered up immediately. I wanted to be on that field no matter what. So go ahead.
Boogie, listen to me here. Okay.
Wait a minute.
Listen to me, man. Listen to me. Carolina, DJ Moore, dog. That first year here, dog. Justin Fields wasn't the best quarterback, okay, but we didn't see this type of this attitude that he had. We don't see the attitude. Hold on. I'm not finished. Hold on. We didn't see the attitude with the overthrows or the disgust towards Caleb or the walking off the field. You ain't always had great. I think he got paid. Yeah. I think he got paid. We ain't see none of this prior to him getting that 100. No. He got paid. Well, damn. Now we see all this other craziness going on. Come on, man. Like, come on. Like, let's put it on the timeline and let's see. Because, I mean, shit happens during a game.
Yes.
But his mannerisms, his body language, I ain't never seen that. I ain't see that prior.
I ain't seen it. I haven't seen it either. I haven't seen it, you know, until now.
Walk off the field in a game during the play. That's crazy. That is crazy to me. But, I mean, hey, now, this is the part right here. This is the part. If Eberflus or Waldron don't say anything, well, then he gonna do it again.
Yep, they're complicit with it.
Yep. Yes, you're either what is that? What old school coaches say?
You're either coaching it or you're allowed to happen. Yep, there it is.
That's it, brother. So that's the problem for me with that. I don't like that, and I think that ties into. That's why I don't want to separate these two. I think that ties into the Tyrique Stevenson thing, where he walks off. He does something crazy, which in my stance, it was a slap on the hand type of deal.
Yeah,
don't do it again. It wasn't a not starting thing for me. But when you tell him he's not starting, he walks out of practice. Leave
and only misses the first series of the game.
Cause he left practice. Like, I ain't starting. Man, I'm out of here. Wait a minute. Hold up. Where do they do that at? Like,
and only missed the first series of the game.
First series of the game. Come on, man. This is different. This is some different stuff. And honestly, that like what we just said, you're either teaching it or you're allowing it to happen. Now, I tell you what, you want to stop all that because the way this is happening, you ain't gonna win anyway. Sit they butt down. 2 games. I bet you'll stop that. Or prior to that trade deadline, get one of them up out of here to let everybody else know that you are not bigger than the team. Do we need DJ Moore? Sure. I would love to keep DJ Moore.
Listen, you walk off that field, you don't get a pink slip. Now, I don't know if they did or didn't. I don't know how that works. I don't know if Eberflus is that way. Lovey was very clear at the very beginning of each year. I will fine you the maximum, whatever anything is. If you cross any of these lines, you will be, and that pink slip was in there too, boy.
Yes,
time.
Yes. But he stood by it, and he did it for everybody. Everybody. Yeah. If you cross the line of one of those rules, you got fined. I want to see what happens, what comes out of this, because I ain't heard anything come out of the Stevenson thing.
Man, there's been a few times where I was pretty pissed off at Lovey, you know, for something I thought was unfair. And, you know, at practice, he's just calm and collect, you know, and smooth like Lovey always is. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to talk to him. I want to say nothing to him. But, you know, as a defensive coach, he going to ask questions for you in this game 100%. Plan. So, yes. Oh, man. But, hey, it is what it is. And in a professional manner, you know, and this is my job. You know, I'm going to get fined if I do something that I'm not supposed to be doing, or that is deemed incorrect, whatever.
So which guy is it? Is it the head coach with the head coach running the defense, I would think the Tyrique Stevenson thing, to me, this is all my opinion, that the Tyrique Stevenson incident reflects, I think, on the coach and the defensive coordinator, where you have to respect your coaches or disrespect your coaches to just walk away from stuff like this. Tell me I need a break, I need to go get some air. Man, you a grown man. Here's the information, you process it, and you keep moving. It ain't I need to leave. You don't leave practice. That is crazy. First off, that's crazy. Where was old school at? Where was old school at when this happened? When this boy walked off the field?
He was in the captain's meeting.
He was in the captain's meeting. Okay. All right. Well, then you got DJ, and DJ, obviously, I love DJ. I love him as a player on our team. I don't know him. So, but I want him on the football team, and I think he can help us. But that
now to OG's and DJ's defense, offense and defense, they're separated. They could be separated at the time. This could be individual periods. This could be any of those periods. Could be early on, and they walk off, and some of them not even notice. There have been players that have been gone that I didn't notice until the end of practice. Like, hey, where's, he's gone. He got hurt or this or that. So I just, as we're speculating on a lot of this stuff and the way it happened, what we know is the detail that he left the field. I don't know who all knew, who all was involved, but we do know that the defensive coordinator, we know that the head coach were aware of this. That we should know. That they should know, right?
And now, so we've talked a lot about all these meetings. They've had leadership meetings multiple times this year. Then Cole Kmet and some other players talked about.
Now that just sounds funny. They had leadership meetings. Get the hell out of here.
I know. And now this week they've had, their normal team meeting, but I guess it was more of a come to Jesus kind of moment where they were all like, hey, our record is who we are. And if we want to change that, kind of a rally the troops type of thing. And we've seen some different teams in this city. And you can have as many meetings as you want, but at some point it's put up or shut up time. So let's wrap things up here.
They don't have anybody in there that'll do that. That'll step in front of that meeting and say, man, the hell with all this. If you do that dumb shit again, I'm going to slap the shit out of you. They don't have that person. If you do that again, I'm going to punch you in your face. They don't have those people in that room. So we got to have these meetings where everybody's included and everybody gets paid. And get the hell out. Do your damn job.
All right. So between you two, who was the one threatening who? Like who got scared? Like if you threaten Alex, I'm gonna punch you in the face if you don't get going on this play. Did Alex get scared?
Everything
he would do what I tell him to do. He would do exactly what I tell him to do. And
it's not getting scared. It is having somebody tell you.
Alex, you got a longer wingspan than Briggs.
No. Because I'm dead serious. It is about getting somebody to understand that you are absolutely serious about this. If you enjoy to the players, I had a guy, Olin Kreutz. Olin Kreutz said this: if you enjoy your current situation with the current coach, then win.
Yes.
If you don't, shit will change, and you don't know if that next coach is gonna want you like this coach wants you. So you need to go out and do your job. Stop all this bitching and moaning and talk. Like, listen, you got to go play football. It's time to go play football, and you cannot have 53 captains. You cannot have 53 leaders. You can't have that. There are 2-3 leaders. Everybody else need to get in line and do their part. Period. That don't make you less of a player. That don't make you. If Briggs come up to me and say, "AB, what the hell was that? You need to do your damn job." Or somebody go up to DJ Moore, "What in the hell was that? How you gonna walk off the field?" That ain't me punking him. That ain't me.
No, it's not.
No, bro, we all in this together. My family depends on you doing your job just as much as me doing my job. Because if we both do our job and this thing goes well, we all get paid more money.
Yep. As well said. It's well said. I just want to remind everyone, hey, make sure you become a diehard here at CHGO Sports. We do a lot of great stuff here. Shows every single day, Monday through Friday. Both the Cubs are going on right now in Studio A. We do Cubs, Bulls, Blackhawks, White Sox, Bears, Monday through Friday, pre- and post-game show, breaking news shows, premium written content. If you go to allchgo.com/diehard, you can sign up. 20% off events, including our tailgates. Our next tailgate is this Sunday. We've been out of, obviously all over in Arizona and London, and now we finally get back to come to Chicago and do some tailgates with you guys. You get 20% off those events if you sign up to become a diehard. Obviously, if you sign up, you get a free shirt right out the gate. We got some really great designs in our shirt store, and you get discounts on all future purchases and a free shirt, as I said right away, a members-only Discord lounge, and so many different things that make it well worth your while to sign up and support what we do here at CHGO Sports and, of course, CHGO Bears. We just ran over the hour mark. Obviously, the Bears and Patriots kicking off here on Sunday. Last week was a must-win, and the Bears couldn't have fallen on their face worse. So now we're looking at this week. I don't know where your guys' headspace is with this, but it's Drake May versus, Caleb Williams, two rookie quarterbacks going in. And just curious how you think this game will fare for these guys.
I don't look at it as a game, Caleb versus Drake May. This is a game. This is a game of our effort. I want full effort. I want you to bring the right attitude and effort because you have 100% control over that. And show me that you want to come out here. You want to win this game. Offense, fight your ass off to score points, and defense, do what you've done before you guys started falling off, started trending in the wrong way. We'll be fine. We'll be okay with the outcome, but fight and show me that you want to be there.
We have the better team. I think we have the more talented football team. It's gonna come down to coaching. We all know that Mayo, the head coach over there, he played at New England, and he has a lot of things, a lot of Bill Belichick type teachings that he'll have, and he'll take away some of the things that you like to do. That's what he's gonna do, and we want to see if the coaching staff first, they can understand that and adjust to it, and then when they adjust, I want to see them adjust to the adjustment. Now, as far as just the players, I'm with Lance. If you go out there and give full effort, you go play your game, we'll beat this team. We'll beat this team. We should not be in the conversation with a current New England football team. We should dominate these guys.
Yeah, and then I guess, the other thing too is the point of Andrew Billings is out with a pectoral. He's going to have surgery, so I'd imagine he's going to be out for a year. They didn't designate him as that.
He's out.
I'd be out for a year if I had pectoral surgery. I'm just saying that. But regardless, the Bears' run defense has gotten gashed more than a few times this year, and then it came full circle against Arizona, where they really gave up some big play, explosive play yardage on the ground. Now the Patriots come to town, and you don't have Andrew Billings. From your guys' standpoint, how much more of a difficult of a task is it for that run defense without an anchor like Andrew Billings in the middle there?
It's a gap defense, man.
You can get a guy off the street that can stay in a gap. That can stay in a gap. You tell him, hey, get in that doggone A gap, get in that B gap, and stay there. Don't let anybody else. Don't go in another gap. Stay in that doggone gap. Secure it. You can secure that doggone gap. You can play run. You can play run defense.
I think when we get in trouble, we get out of our gap. So if we can stay in our gaps and be gap sound, I think the run game will be fine in the run game. We'll be able to stop their run. I don't think they have an offensive line that's just going to dominate us. No, their receivers I'm not scared of. Their position.
Certainly not scared of Drake May.
Definitely not scared of Drake May. So, but he will run. Now I will say that he can use his legs, and he does use his legs to get out of the pocket. So I think we have to be cognitive of that. But no,
is there anybody who reminds you of Drake May? Does anybody remind you of
Kyle
Mitchell
Orton?
Trubisky?
Oh no, a more athletic
North Carolina,
Kyle Orton.
I was gonna say that North Carolina guy, you know.
No, not Mitch. Nah, he's a bigger quarterback than a bigger arm than Mitch.
Oh, yeah.
I think Kyle Orton, just more athletic.
Kyle Orton. I think Patriots fans are hoping he's more like Josh Allen, but that's a pretty high bar to reach.
Oh, they're crazy.
Yeah, I guess the final thing I want to touch on with this game is off the field. Devin Hester is going to return to Chicago, and they're going to honor him, I think, before the game or maybe at halftime. You know, and any thoughts you have of Devin? I know we talked about it a few times to start the year, but Devin getting into the Hall of Fame, and now he returns to Soldier Field and let the crowd show him some love there.
Man, I'd say what a treat! What a treat that we all had. You know, whether it was from the sideline, in the stands, or in the TV, to be able to witness his greatness on the field. That was a treat.
There it is. Yep.
What was your favorite return? Standing on the sidelines, all right, take the Super Bowl one out. Obviously, the Super Bowl was unbelievable. Returns to his hometown in Miami and does that after everything he had done that year was the craziest thing in NFL. To me, it's like the craziest moment in NFL history. But you know, I'm also extremely biased towards Devin Hester. But I'm curious, just like a regular season touchdown, like what's the one that stands out to you guys the most when you're asked about this?
For me, the second one he had against the Rams, where he gave up the touchdown and then just got the touchdown right back. He was playing DB, and Torrey Holt
burned him in the corner.
He just turns around and just, all right, I'm gonna get this back like 10 seconds later. And all right, guys, everything's good. We're good. Like, hey, damn, like this dude he was a different animal, man.
See, that's why I wanted to go first, because that's the one I was going to say. Because I'm the linebacker that's closest to Devin, you know, and I'm looking over, and before, you know, people don't know is I'd already gone to my coach, and I'm like, listen, he's like, listen, you've got to help him, you know, and so we're in the red zone, and I'm cheating over as far as I feel like I can and still do my job, you know, and so, but he's going against Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce. Like, you know, what are we gonna do, right? And so when I see the ball go up, and whenever you see a quarterback and there's no hesitation, he goes back, he makes his drop, the receiver's right where he wants him to be. So when I'm looking up, when you look up and I see I think it was Isaac Bruce that had a step on it. He had probably 2 steps. He had about 2 steps on him, like touchdown. I was like, okay, here we go. Here we go. You know what I mean? And you know, it was one of those deals too, you know, where you kind of pissed off and it's you just turn and go straight to the sideline. It's not like, hey man, you got it, you'll be all right. Nope, you just pissed. Let's go. We gave up 20 points.
How about to me, the my favorite return of his all time was at Detroit. You guys were in a bit of a shootout, and he had like 4 returns in that game where he almost took one, and then at the fourth quarter, he like snakes his way up the middle, hits the sidelines, and smacks the kicker out of bounds. He like literally smacks him across the face, and then he like cuts back to the middle of the field. I still remember Moose Muhammad looking over at the crowd, making fun of him, and then Devin Hester, after he scored, because they kept kicking into him in that game, he turned to the Detroit Lions sideline and took the ball and was like, keep feeding me this, you morons. Have fun. Keep kicking it to me. Those were some great times, man, and always love reminiscing about those kind of days. You guys are the reason a lot of us bleed this team, and hopefully these new Bears can live up to the expectations you guys did. So we got to wrap things up here, but we appreciate everything you guys did. Brought to the table here today, some really great insight as always. I'll let you guys send it off, and we'll close the door on this thing.
All right, folks. Hey, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in. Briggs and Brown Show will be here very soon. Love you.
Good ass.
We all silly like the mayor.